Hello, everyone. Welcome to TrinSoft's Introduction to Microsoft Dynamics Business Central series. Today's topic is going to be personalization. We're going to show you how to personalize and set up some of the pages and screens inside Business Central so that you're only seeing actions and fields that you need to see and that they're set into the order that make the most sense for you so that you can be as efficient as possible while you're keying and interacting with Business Central. So let's get started. Here we are in our Cronus Learning Company for Business Central, and we're going to take a look at our General Journal page, which is the default General Journal page, pretty much that comes with Business Central. And we've got a couple of lines here started that we'll take a look at. Now, for our use of Business Central, and remember, every organization might be a little different, we don't use multiple currency. So we have a field here that's visible on most of the pages in Business Central called currency code. In addition, our posting groups default every time. So I really don't need my business and product posting groups on this page. And finally, as we look at some of the menu options at the top, we don't use incoming documents. I'd rather not have to worry about that menu item, and I'd like to adjust the page to simplify it and streamline it a little bit. In addition to that, we've got a couple of custom fields that we've added to the journal, and I want to make sure that those are visible. To personalize pages inside Business Central, and they can be done from any page that you're on, you go to the little gear where My Settings is located, and you'll have an option, again, based on your permissions, to personalize. Now, a lot of users may have two options, personalize and design. Those are two different things. We've got a whole other video on design and what that is and what the difference is. We don't recommend you use design unless you've talked with your administrator, because designing will actually create things called extensions for individual users. And that's something you have to think about a little bit, and you want to be sure you've got support from your administrator and your other team members. So today we're going to talk about personalize, right? And personalization changes that I make and that other users make are specific to those users. Once I choose personalize, notice that the personalize work bar at the top is now visible. And I can see that I can clear personalization. So anything that we start, if we want to undo it, I can always come up here and click clear personalization. One of the things I have the ability to, notice the little plus and the word field. I can add fields to this screen. And as I click that button on the right, fields that are available to me to be added to the screen are visible. So if I want to add some fields to this screen, in my example, I only talked about removing a couple, but now that we're taking a look at it, I think it would be really nice to have the document date on this as well. So to add it, I simply click and hold, and I can grab this document date, and notice that when I bring it to part of the screen where it's acceptable, it gives me the red bar and shows me where it's going to insert. So I'm going to put it right here next to document type, and I'm just going to let go. Now I'm clicking and holding this whole time. Notice that if I'm over a part of the page, I'm still holding, by the way, it shows a little not applicable sign, right? It has the little slash. I can't let go of it here. But if I bring it up right next to document number and let go, notice that the field document date has now been placed. Once a field is placed on a screen, it's accessible with this little caret, this little red triangle. From that red triangle, if I put the mouse right on it and I click and hold, I'll get a menu, and it'll give me some options for what's available for that field. So here I can move it, I can hide it, I can make it so you can't edit that field, or I can exclude it from quick entry, which is a different interface for journal lines. So for here, I'm going to go ahead, I still want to move it. I put it in the wrong spot, so I've decided I'm going to move it. To move the field, I simply click, oops, I got to hold the little caret. I click and hold that caret, and I should be able to move it over one and let go, and the document date's been moved. If I want to remove it from the screen or hide it, of course, at this point, I could clear my personalization, but the other option is to click the caret and choose hide, and it's removed from the screen. That's all there is to adding or removing fields, and all of the fields available to you will be visible on the right once you click the field link. You can even search for them by clicking this little search and just type something that you're looking for, and notice that these are date fields, right? Or maybe I want to do department or something like that. I can search for any field available. Can't see any department fields. So everything that's available to you is visible on the right. Now, for our example, as you recall, I said I wanted to remove this currency field. Well, now we kind of know how to do that. Notice that every field has the caret available. I can simply click on the caret and say hide. Currency field's gone. Same thing to posting type, hide. Posting group, hide. And the product posting group, hide. And I've now hidden all of the fields that I want. I talked about some custom fields that we have visible. I can see that that is visible on the screen. I'm going to move that location though, so I'm going to grab that and bring that over near account. I'm going to make it a little bit wider. There we go. Looking good so far. And then the last thing was the menu. Notice that our menu items also can be moved and hidden and adjusted. In our example, I did not want the incoming document to be visible anymore. So I simply click the caret and do the same process and say hide. Once that's done, if all of my personalization is finished, I click the done button and I'm right back into the screen. If we notice, we go back into our journal. Sometimes the page will refresh before you can see your changes, but now my general journal looks much better. I have my job number, which is a custom field, and yes, you can add custom fields to a lot of pages. Again, talk to your administrator about that. I've got my custom job number right where I want it, next to my account number. I've now got my document and document type in good shape. I removed those fields that I don't use very often, so I don't have to click through those or see them. And I finally got rid of that pesky incoming document field, which that's functionality we never use. So any page in Dynamics Business Central can be personalized in this manner. And as we said before, these changes, it will remember them for me. Every time I log into Business Central, this is how my general journal will look. This change, that what I just did, does not impact any other user of the system. Your system administrator does have authority and has permission to come in and force fields to be visible. They can set settings on fields that will make it so that users are not able to hide them or not able to move them. Sometimes that's helpful to get a general layout, so it's pretty consistent for most of your users. But the personalization that we showed today, this is available to you as a user of Business Central. It only impacts you and it won't impact any other users. Let's take a look at one other type of personalization. Maybe we'll want to do something on our sale quote document. So we're going to go out to sales quotes. We'll do a new quote. We'll take a look at a new customer. Not a new customer, but whoops. Well, I've got an error with my number series that I don't have set up. So we'll grab a quote that's already there, which should be fine. Again, I'm getting those little tool tips that we see down there. Check out our other video series that talks to you how to do notifications and the My Settings features. You can turn those learning tips on and off. You can check that video for tips and for instructions on how to do that. It's available under My Settings. Here we have a typical document window where we've got some lines area and we have a header area, and our personalization features are available here too. Once again, I go to the gear, I choose Personalize, and my Personalize window popped up again. Notice that I can hover over the lines section. If I'm in the line sections and I hit fields, these are going to represent fields that I could add to the lines section, right? Maybe I want to do unit of measure. So I'll grab unit of measure and I can put that in there right next to description. And then I come up to the header section and I'll click into the header section and notice that my fields change. I only have 2 fields I can add to the header section, but maybe I want to move the assigned user up a little bit, right? So I can come in here, I can click and I can move those up or down. As I click on them, right, I can always show them, show when collapsed. I can exclude it from quick entry. I can make it block the editing. I can do all of the above. Whoops, I keep doing that on the move. So that's how we can grab and move any of these fields around, right? Or I can hide them and make them not visible at all. We don't use campaigns, so I'll just hide that field. Same with opportunity. I can go ahead and hide that field as well. So the ability, we say done, and our changes instantly go into effect. And of course, we have our unit of measure now on our quote lines. So I wanted to show that personalization is available on any page that you see in Business Central. As we said as well, I can come back into Personalize, and I can always clear my personalization Notice I can clear only fields, columns, and parts, or I can clear it all, which will restore it to the default view. So if you get carried away or you forget whether or not you had a field or you think you lost something, you can simply clear that personalization and you'll get right back to the default view. Personalization is a really powerful tool inside of Business Central because it will enable you to set the fields up so that you can minimize the number of fields that you have to tab through, and you don't want to look at fields or mess around with ones that don't mean anything to you or your organization. So I encourage you to take a look at it and take a little bit of time to set up the fields just the way you want them on those screens that you're using every day. Maybe you're a person who's entering purchase invoices every day. I'd encourage you to lay out those purchase invoices so that you're only seeing the fields that you need, and you can make sure that that movement is as efficient as possible. So that's introduction to personalization. I encourage you to check it out. Also look at some of our other videos in this introduction series. We cover things like the My Settings area, as well as filters, or another real powerful tool inside Business Central. Be sure you check those other videos out. And as always, thanks for watching.